Well, one show ends tonight, but like Celine Dion's heart, this show goes on and on. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and I am pounding my chest a la Celine as we speak. Yes.
Welcome to episode 177 of Gracefully, and frankly, we've got a lot to talk about this week. And I guess we're going to start with the big elephant, or CBS eye, in the room, because it is a big night in television, and we're going to hear this on a new show for the last time as...
Tonight
is it for Stephen Colbert. Wow.
Yeah, and the other late shows are off to give him all the attention, and I just love how they've come together as a community, these guys. You know, the Jimmys and the Seth.
And John Oliver.
Yeah, John Oliver,
Yeah.
who has just turned out to be one of the brightest people with some of the brightest writers. But Colbert is his own animal, isn't he? I mean, he went from the Colbert Report, where he was really playing a character, to becoming himself, and we love himself even more.
Yeah, and he really had to learn those interview skills. Initially, all he did was either inject himself or not pick up on answers that had been dropped right there, but his skills grew. He felt freer to be himself, to show his empathy. Nobody cries more than Jimmy Kimmel, but Colbert,
Yes.
we really felt that we knew him. And something unusual, too, about him, Lisa, is that he wasn't afraid to show his Catholic faith on his sleeve.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good because for a number of reasons, but one is because of the way Christianity is being co-opted by a segment of some of the Republicans in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see a man of faith who is just a decent, nice, because that's how most are.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
How most are. So here's what I think. And of course, by the time this airs today, the cat may be out of the bag. But I think, Lisa, he's going to have the Pope on. And it won't be in his studios because that's a whole diplomatic thing. But when he took that week off and he went to the Obama Library to be with President Obama, I think he also went to Rome.
I think you're right. I think so, too, because that's what he said all along he wanted. That was his great white whale, the person he was trying to capture to get on the show. And he's met the Pope before.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And that would just be the ultimate for him. What a way to go out.
Yeah, it sure would. And what's going to happen to the Ed Sullivan Theater? This worries my little Beatles loving heart.
Well, is it not going to be the site of the new show that's coming in, or are they going to be somewhere else?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I barely paid attention because I really just don't care. You know, I've got to think that it's going to be a relief in a way, too. I think about Jimmy Kimmel. Once you get over the shock of what's happening to you, and I mean, Jimmy says that he doesn't even have time to think about whether he likes doing the show or anything, because if you let one tiny ball drop, the whole thing falls apart. Like, unless you've worked on a show like that, you can't imagine how busy and nonstop it is and how many people are involved. And it's such a big, hairy deal. I know when Jimmy goes on vacation, I get the feeling he's thinking, you know, if I didn't have all these people working for me and feel responsible, I wouldn't come back. Because he and Colbert both have FU money for sure.
Yeah, and hundreds of people who depend on them who will be out of a job as of tonight on Colbert's show.
Yeah.
But that makes me think that ABC must be just kicking themselves 7 ways to Sunday going, oh man, now we've got all these people not watching Colbert and Jimmy's about to take 2 months off. I just, you know, as a programmer, that would make you crazy that all of those viewers, everybody can watch everything on different platforms. Not that many people are watching on linear or whatever they call broadcast television anymore. But geez, what an opportunity that's lost, huh?
I guess, but if you want to keep Jimmy happy, you've got to make sure he gets his time away.
Yes.
And it is the summer and viewing habits change. And I suppose there is some ad revenue that is going to be lost, but I think they are circling the drain anyway. So even Jimmy has said that himself, Jimmy Kimmel, that he knows he's in the waning days of this format and this type of broadcast television.
Yeah.
It's just not going to exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
When his clips come around, I don't know if you ever look and see how many, but I mean, even in the morning, by the time I get to look at them, say 9 o'clock or whatever, they've got like 103,000 views already. They're already circulating really quickly. So I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. apart from television and a whole industry that many people know nothing about and care about even less, let's talk about that segue into, not for Colbert so much, retirement, but a new life that you didn't plan on.
Right.
You and I have both experienced this firsthand, being in broadcasting, both of us in Southern and Southwestern Ontario for our entire careers. But I think it's so healthy for Colbert, for anyone to have something to look forward to and a project that awaits.
Yeah, writing that Lord of the Rings movie. I mean, does the world need well, that's a whole different subject.
Oh,
but
that universe thinks they do.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And he is like the biggest fan going, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. Having something to look forward to. Otherwise, it's just a big blank slate. And that is scary when you're used to appointments and meetings or whatever it is that you used to do.
You lose that structure. You know what? I did a little bit of research here about what it takes, how long it takes to get over a career. For me, it's been 10 years, 10 whole years.
So do you figure it's in the rearview mirror now and you're okay with it?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. And you were part of that when I was spending the winter away. It was my project this year to put it in the rearview mirror and to stop chasing and hoping and wishing and dreaming and all those things. So I looked into it, and it typically takes, Lisa, about 3 to 6 months to stop missing a great career. And this timeline allows you to move past the initial shock, process the change in your daily routine, and adjust your personal identity to your new chapter. First off, there's the honeymoon phase, the woohoo!
I can do anything.
Yeah, that's right. I can stay up late. I can drink all I want. I don't have to answer to anybody. Well, it's the relief, excitement, and freedom, but you're still decompressing, and you're still going to have to pay for it in the morning if you're hungover, or, all of the things that are reality, even when you feel like you're on March break, right?
Yeah. My brain just went to this guy I know who's doing a job, and the guy who used to do the job, who retired, keeps coming back like 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm wondering what he's missing. This guy needs something to do. Yeah.
Exactly. That's part of the identity recalibration, and that takes 3 to 6 months because you've got nostalgia, you've got a loss of purpose.
Yeah.
And occasional regret, especially people like you and like me who associated their careers so much with who they were. I was always CHFI's Erin Davis. I had somebody owning me in front of my name for 30 years, and I was very proud of it.
Yeah.
But when your owner goes away, or, you've taken that off, well, who are you anymore?
I had a bit of that when I left Toronto, when I left 680 News. But by the time I was finished my tour of duty here in the London area, my identity was not tied to it anymore. They beat it out of me. If I'd still been at 680, it would have been a different story because it was a height of professionalism and everything else. But no, I didn't end up having that like you did. I mean, you left on top. You're Jerry Seinfeld, basically.
Well, I thank you. I did leave of my own volition the second time, so that makes a big difference. Now, it takes 6 months to a year to get acceptance and stabilization. And you've built new routines, discovered new hobbies, settled into a new environment even, which we did. And the missing feeling becomes more of a fond memory rather than a lingering ache. Oh my God, it is like the grief process, isn't it?
It kind of is. And let me ask you this in hindsight. I also left on my own volition, but it was very, very different for me. When you left and you moved out west, do you think you moved too quickly? Do you think it was knee-jerk, or do you think it was the right thing?
I don't know. It felt like the right thing to do. I couldn't have been off the radio and stayed around Toronto. So, yeah, it was the right thing to do. We did our final show from Casa Loma on Thursday, and Saturday morning we were on the plane.
I remember very well.
Yeah, I don't take my time. So you establish a new structure. Without the forced routine, the lack of schedule can fuel anxiety. So create new morning and evening rituals to anchor your day. Find new outlets for your strengths and a space for you to shine.
Yeah, podcast, eh? Yeah, podcast.
Yeah, podcasting. Great idea. Yeah, 2 podcasts. And Gracefully and Frankly with you has just been such a gift. And you're doing something this weekend too. We were going to wait and mention it at the end, but for folks in southwestern Ontario or who just want to take a trip, you're doing something that sort of feeds into that whole other side of you too this weekend, aren't you?
Right. Well, it's mostly stuff that Derek does, but for some reason it's got my name on it. But we're taking part in an outdoor market called the Sunset Vintage Market, and it's at 400 Sunset Drive in St. Thomas. It's at a pizzeria, actually, Elgin Harvest Pizza, and it's on the Sunday, May 24th from 11 to 5. So we're going to be there with stuff Derek's made. He makes wooden stuff. He repurposes lamps. He does all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So we'll be there with a couple dozen other vendors, and it should be kind of fun.
Good. Promise me you'll take your books. Will you take a stack of books?
Oh, I wasn't planning on it, but I guess so. I guess I could.
Yeah.
I have such a hard time doing that, but I'll take a few.
I know. Meet the author and get a personally inscribed book from Lisa. Okay, so.
Very good.
Oh, I know. You hate that promotion. But if you don't do it, if we don't do it, who will, right?
That's a good point.
And it helps push you through your retirement and into whatever your next chapter may be, which, of course, for you is doing some local radio, too. As are we on Pender Island, as it turns out. But that's a whole different story. So good luck to Stephen Colbert tonight. Good luck to the Montreal Canadiens tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Yay. Overtime, I mean, could they have made it any more of a nail-biter?
No, absolutely not. And Buffalo was our honorary Canadian team, except for Tage Thompson or whatever the hell his name is, the MAGA. But anyway, the whole Buffalo team, we were rooting for them if Montreal didn't get in. But allez Montréal, and on we go. Oh, Lisa. Oh, Lisa. Mm-hmm. Rob and I are still laughing at something that happened last week.
Well, tell me.
And the resolution that we found to it on the weekend. Well, you know part of the story.
Oh, is this the light?
Yes.
Okay.
The magic angel light. So to set it up, okay, May 10th and 11th. So just a few weeks ago, a week ago or so. Mother's Day, and then the anniversary of our daughter's passing. Okay, so I'm always looking for signs. I'm watching the deer here on Pender Island, and I'm just feeling touched by signs and dimes and all those magical things. Well, something happened on our dog walk on May 9th, late at night, so starlit, so dark out with just stars, and it took my breath away. And I was so excited to tell you that I texted you, so you read these texts.
I saw a light in a tree last night, and I have absolutely no logical explanation for it except that we think it was Lauren. Okay, so we're walking and it's pitch black, no house lights on, a few dimly lit windows, but it's a country road, the moon is dim, the stars are out in full force. As we're walking at 11 p.m., I remarked to Rob about seeing a plane flying over way, way, way up, and he said the speed of it was probably the space station. Anyways, we continue to walk. I see a blue light going by way up there, and small too. I said, do you see that? It's blue. Plane lights aren't blue. And sometimes we can see the red or the green. He said, I was right. And then he said, it stopped. Look at the top of that tree. So about 3 stories up in this huge tall pine, this soft blue light is just sitting there. A soft orb that Rob said was flickering, although I just saw it as steady. And we walked and looked at it from up and down the road, and it was just there. So we figured, must be a firefly. But there are no fireflies in this area to speak of, as it turns out, and those we do have are no more than 1 to 2 feet off the ground. So then you suggested it might someone's dying drone. Well, who would be stupid enough to fly a drone around the trees? And you were out of ideas. And I wrote, well, just accept it then. I think you expected me to say, well, that just can't possibly be, but I'm not going to take that away from you. So what did you come up with?
Oh, well, I only texted that to a few people who I thought really got me. A woo-woo niece of mine. I don't even know who, but I was very careful lest they cart me off in a nicely fit straitjacket. So about 3 days later, we're walking down the road and it's daylight, and I look up at that tree again, and what do I see? A satellite dish.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my God. And I went through all the feels. I felt embarrassed. I felt so silly. I'm so glad I didn't post it publicly because it would have been like, okay, lady, you're just an idiot. But it's the wishing, it's the wanting, it's the hoping, and all of those things when you so want to be contacted by somebody who isn't here anymore. And I couldn't come up with anything like that. And then we're just walking by the other day and you look up and you go, and it's a satellite dish. So there.
That's too funny. Oh, well, in the dark, it doesn't have to be a satellite dish. It can be something else.
Oh, well, I know it's not going to go away because for the next few nights, we would do our walk that way instead of turning the other way out of the driveway just to see the blue light and say hi to Lauren. But I don't know. Oh, my God, we laughed at each other. We laughed at ourselves. You have to laugh. It's just one of the ways we deal, right?
Yeah.
You do have to laugh. And in the case of our friend Wanda from Guelph, oh my God, did we get a call from her, Lisa? And we love when we get your voicemails. You just go to gracefullyandfrankly.com, scroll down. There's a little microphone on the right. And it was about something we talked about last week.
Yeah, the threats of a tornado, and there actually were some microbursts and some other things that did eventually come, but just we're talking about how warnings come and then nothing really happens. Well, if you're Wanda, something always happens because her elderly parents are the funniest and funnest and coolest people.
They absolutely are. And it all starts with the fact that there were renovations going on in the house. And so she decided to move her parents. Well, you'll hear where, but the reason was to get out of the house and the commotion. And it didn't quite work out that way. Here's Wanda.
I'm at my parents' place in Mount Forest. You know, my mom had had a stroke not that long before, and my dad at 99 needs sleep. So I said, well, why don't I take you down to the gazebo? There's sofas there. They can lie down and have a little nap, enjoy the breeze. Bear in mind, both of them use motorized scooters now. So I get them down there. I get them loaded in and onto their sofas, and it's beautiful. And the wind starts to pick up. So that's fine. I close the curtains a little bit just to cut some of the breeze, and then all of a sudden a little bit of rain, and I'm like, okay. Then it starts pelting rain. Then the rain starts coming in sideways into the gazebo, and I'm like, oh my. So I close the curtains, and I've got an umbrella with me. So I open up the umbrella, and I'm kind of holding it to protect them. So the umbrella's not really working so much. So I get the cover for the sofa set, and I put it over them. And slowly it gets windier and windier to the point where we're pulling this up over our heads. And my dad has this large wedge cushion. So I've got it propped up on his knees to create this tent over the three of us. So if anyone's looking, you wouldn't even know there's three people sitting there. I said to my mom, you know, it'd be really funny if anybody finds us here. And it's no sooner out of my mouth than I hear from beside the gazebo, what the? Here it is, my 18-year-old niece who has shown up. And so I just poke my head out from behind the cover. Oh, hey, hi. And she sees the three of us huddled under the cover. She goes, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. And she just pops in and sits on the sofa with us. Finally, the wind and rain died down enough that I got my niece to get my parents loaded on the scooters and take them safely up to the house. Anyway, we all got back safely. God love, at their age, they've got a good sense of humor about it because I almost had them killed.
I love that her niece just went, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, let me join the weird family. All right.
Yeah, but it's moments like that you never forget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. If you have a story to tell or just a comment, again, feel free to leave us a voicemail, gracefullyandfrankly.com. And on the right at the bottom, there's a microphone. And on the left, is that a coffee cup?
That's a lot of coffee cups. Thank you, Nancy, who bought us 16 coffees. And that's amazing. It's going to take us a while to finish them. That's a big coffee break. And she wrote, Erin and Lisa, thank you for always being your true, caring, fun, and authentic selves in your podcasts, blogs, and journals. Two beautiful people inside and out. So appreciative. Wow. We appreciate you, Nancy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, just go to gracefullyandfrankly.com. Do a little exploring if you like. And thanks. Thanks for being part of the show and for supporting us by buying us coffees. 16. Ha!
And you know who else supports us is NV Pillow, our friends Kathy and Kim, who have become friends anyway because of the love we have for their pillow. And this was totally genuine. We were using them before they ever came on board with us and just love the pillow. I now sleep with a little disc that wakes me up because I have to be shaken awake because I can't hear a damn thing with my hearing aids out. Mm-hmm. And I put my little disc under my Envy pillow. You wouldn't even know it. It just glides right into the sustainable foam. It's not memory foam. It's actually something better than that. Mm-hmm. And it's just so comfortable no matter what I want to do. If I want to throw it under my arm and take it with me somewhere or curl up into a ball, Derek says I sleep in a nest. So the Envy pillow becomes part of it.
Find out more at envypillow.com. Use the code GF for 10% off. And my sister Leslie went camping in Kamloops. Sounds like one of the Cars for Kids commercials. Don't go there. Anyway, camping in Kamloops, it was 45 Fahrenheit. But she was slept in her clothes and she had her Envy pillow. So it was one comfort of home at least. Well done, Leslie.
Too funny.
Well, every week we kind of doff our caps to whoever has risen to the podium, to the very middle top position in stupidity. And what we call it is This Week in Totally Stupid or... Twits! Take it away, Lisa.
So if you are at a baseball game, a professional baseball game, and someone pulls out a giant, say, Ziploc bag and opens it up and starts eating from it, don't go complaining about them, thinking they're just deking the expensive concession. Apparently, you're allowed to eat anything and bring any food in with you.
Well, sandwiches make sense.
Yes, sandwiches make sense.
I mean, the dollar hot dogs or whatever that the Jays have, but other than that, the concessions are exorbitant.
Ridiculous.
So why is this a twit?
It's a twit because there's a group of men, they call themselves the Sickos Community, and they are taking full spaghetti dinners in gallon-sized clear bags to baseball stadiums and eating them to see if anybody has an issue with it, to check out every Major League Baseball team's spaghetti policy. So they did it at the Milwaukee Brewers game, and they even had garlic bread, and they watched their team beat the Arizona Diamondbacks, and there was no problem. Security had no issue. They saw them eating their spaghetti from a plastic bag and just let them go ahead. Coming to a stadium near you.
Yeah.
They are going to come to every stadium, so look for them at a Jays game.
I guess so. Well, it could be worse. Could be clam chowder. It could be anything.
Oh, it's just gross.
I thought they were clamping down on outside food to stop people from buying from the hot dog vendors outside the Rogers Center, but I guess not.
As long as it's in a clear plastic bag, you can bring in what you like. Yep.
Great to know. While we're talking food, you kept a secret from me. I have been looking for ways to make avocados last after they have that, 5 seconds of perfection and then start to blacken. And I told you that I took a tip from Rose Reisman, Canadian cookbook author, that someone passed on to me, wrap them in foil, put them in the freezer. And you said, what, you've been doing that?
I actually don't put them in foil, though. Maybe that's better. I just throw them in a plastic bag. And I have a few there now. And they don't come out the same consistency, of course, but they come out as fresh can be. How's it been going?
Yeah, they come out mealier, and you can squeeze them, like to make a guacamole or whatever.
Yes.
I tasted a bit of a more fruity, because avocado is a fruit, as everybody knows. A sweeter, fruitier taste to them. It changed a lot, but it'd be perfect for guac.
That's all I ever do with them once they've been frozen, because you can't really slice them. They're mushy.
Yes.
Some time ago, you were going to put one in water to see if it survived in the fridge. How'd that do?
Then they seem to be okay, but then people let me know that soaking them in water can bring about some kind of salmonella or some sort of poisoning. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to die from avocado, not when French fries are right out there.
Exactly.
She choked to death on a rainbow cake. She went the way she wanted. So what I did was I videoed myself or my hands anyway. My husband Rob videoed me cutting open this avocado, so you can go to the Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page, but do not give me a hard time about the blade and my hand, because yeah, I totally full on did cutting like I'm not supposed to and cutting like injured you, but I lived on the edge. I lived to tell about it, and it's there. The video's there.
You know, I have a cut on my thumb as we speak because I just did one of those little slice things that you're not supposed to do. I don't know when I'm going to learn. Maybe I never will.
Not if you watch me, you won't.
I won't give you a hard time.
Okay. All right. Just before we go, something you don't need to keep in the freezer, but they can no longer freeze the prices on a few of their items. Sierra Sil, the all-natural curcumin and minerals and different products they have, Canadian-made, right in British Columbia, that we take for inflammation for your knees so that you can walk and hike and bend and garden, whatever you want to do. Just get up and down. Play with your grandkids. So a few of the prices are going up June 1st. This is your heads up to get online and order them now so that you can get in before the slight price increase. So here's where you go.
SierraSil.com. Sierra like the mountains. SIL.com. Tell them Gracefully and Frankly sent you by using your code GF for 14% off.
And that's just about it for us this week. Thanks to Wanda. Thanks to Nancy. Thanks to you. And of course, don't forget, we're going to be seeing Lisa this weekend at the Sunset, what now?
Sunset Vintage Market at Elgin Harvest Pizza on Sunday, 11 to 5.
All right. And that is in what town?
That is in St. Thomas, just on, like, if you know St. Thomas, it's on the other side of St. Thomas toward Port Stanley.
All right.
And the name of our little shop is Lisa's Pieces, so you can't miss me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's in Ontario. And all across Canada, don't forget this Saturday, it's Diabetes Canada's big drop-off day for your spring cleaning. Go to declutterfordiabetes.ca to find out a location near you, and we thank you. Okay, and as for me, here on Pender Island, of course, I'll be out and about. You can meet me in the parking lot at the Driftwood Mall. Not making an appearance, just loading my groceries. So there you go. There's my exciting life.
So it's just a short window, very short window to meet you, yeah.
That's right, okay.
Have a good one, Erin.
Yeah, you too, Lisa, and we'll talk to you next week.